Right now, deep inside your brain, your hippocampus is rewriting the conversation you just had, and the memory scientists who discovered this admit they can't stop it, or even tell you which version is the real one. Every argument you replay tonight, every "I never said that," every version of the fight where you sound a little more right than you actually were, you didn't misremember it. Your brain edited it. And by the end of this, you'll know the one rule elite communicators use to catch the edit before it locks into place. Think about the last hard conversation you had. The one where your voice got tight. The one you're already replaying. Your brain isn't storing that memory like a recording, it's storing a draft. And every single time you think about it again in the shower, in traffic, lying awake at 1 a.m., you're not remembering it. You're opening the file and rewriting it. Small edits. A word softened. Pause that wasn't there. A cruelty you added because it fit the story you needed to believe. This is happening to your closest relationships right now, and you can't feel the rewrite happening. You just feel certain. Here's the mechanism, and it's stranger than you think. Your hippocampus doesn't file a memory away once and seal it. Every time you recall something, that memory becomes chemically unstable again, soft, like wet clay, for a window of several hours. Neuroscientists call this reconsolidation. In that window, whatever you're feeling, whatever new information arrives, gets folded back into the memory before it rehardens. So if you replay the conversation while angry, anger gets baked into the file. If you replay it while justifying yourself, justification gets baked in. The conversation you had and the conversation you now remember are, chemically, two different events. And this doesn't happen once. It happens every time you revisit it, which means the version in your head today may be 5 or 6 edits removed from what actually happened in that room. The researchers who mapped this, the ones who proved memory is rewritten, not replayed, will tell you flatly, there is no way to lock a memory down. Karim Nader's original work on reconsolidation terrified his own field because it meant every courtroom eyewitness, every therapy session built on remembering what happened, was standing on shifting ground. There's no scan that tells you which parts are original and which parts you added last Tuesday. No blood test for a false edit. The experts can tell you the rewrite is happening. They cannot tell you, for any single memory, how much of it is left. And here's where it gets counterintuitive, because everything you've been told about processing an argument is backwards. You've heard talk it out right away. Journal it immediately. Get it off your chest before you sleep. That advice is exactly when your hippocampus is most vulnerable to corruption, because you're recalling the memory at peak emotional charge, which is the worst possible moment to let it reharden. Talking it out immediately doesn't process the conversation. It rewrites the conversation permanently with your anger as the ink. This is why couples who hash it out the same night often end up angrier a week later than the night it happened. They didn't resolve the fight, they encoded a worse one. So what do high performers actually do? The negotiators, the surgeons, the people who can't afford to misremember a conversation that matters. They use a rule almost nobody teaches. Separate the recall from the emotion by protecting the first few hours, not by suppressing the memory, by refusing to relive it while it's still molten. Within the first hour before the emotional charge peaks, they write down 3 neutral, factual lines. Not how it felt, what was actually said. Time-stamped, boring, unemotional. That draft becomes the anchor. Then they deliberately delay the emotional replay, the venting, the analysis, the retelling to a friend, until the reconsolidation window has closed, roughly a day later. By then, the memory has rehardened around fact instead of feeling. It's the difference between editing a document while it's still open and reopening a saved, finished version. You can use this tonight. If you had a conversation today that's already looping in your head, don't relitigate it before bed. That's the exact window it gets corrupted. Instead, write 3 flat, factual sentences about what was said right now before you feel anything else about it. Then wait. Don't discuss who said what with anyone until tomorrow. Let the file close before you open it again. It sounds almost too simple to matter. It's the difference between remembering a conversation and remembering your own worst edit of it. But your hippocampus isn't working alone in this. There's another structure standing just beside it, deciding in real time which memories are even worth rewriting. And it's the same one that decides, without asking you, which moments in your life get burned in forever, and which ones quietly disappear.